Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner almost 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words are just as true today as they were then. Throughout this nation's history, America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors. We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the more than 650,000 American servicemen who died in battle, or the 1.4 million who were wounded. We can, however, recognize and thank the 25 million veterans still living today. These words are inscribed on the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met. Those words apply equally to many of our World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, and Gulf War veterans as well. They apply to today's active duty service members, tomorrow's veterans, who are helping to maintain peace throughout the world. Today, it is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor. The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to forget those willing to pay it. Today, we celebrate America's veterans for keeping this nation the land of the free and the home of the brave. Whether you were drafted or volunteered, thank you for your service. Those who live in freedom will always be grateful to those who help preserve it. We will now have the posting of our colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, I come to celebrate, to open up the ceremony in recognition of our veterans, those who have served and died for us. Therefore, I ask that this time all veterans in the audience, please stand. And continue to stand. I want you to know we honor you as we look around the room and behind us. We thank you. I want you to keep standing because you served. You know of the brothers and the sisters all over the world that you can recognize. So please, as we humbly come to you today to recognize, think of those. You know them. You served with them. And please allow this moment in time to acknowledge them. And I thank you from my spirit to yours. Thank you. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I always take privilege at this time when Dr. Clark asked me to come and say a few words, that I always take the time to acknowledge a friend who served in the Vietnam War, Carl Washington. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, he would have been 78 years old, but he gave his life at the age of 18. And again, I always take this time to say thank you, Carl, because you gave your life. And here I am, right here in front of you all. And I'm here because he gave his life for all of us. I also want to recognize our own beloved veteran, Dr. Curtis Johnson. As you know, he would have been right over here looking at us saying, now, get over here now. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of another fallen soldier, Dr. Curtis Johnson, let us also give thanks. So on this wonderful occasion, as we now sit here and those out there, as you know, life is good. I thank you for being here and taking the time. And again, those who have served, thank you again.
Hello, everyone. Salute to him. He stands, a quiet soldier in his own right, bearing stories stitched into his shadow. Step steady, gaze sharp. He knows the weight of sacrifice, not for himself, but for a country calling his name, asking him to stand guard, to keep watch in dawn's first light. In his silence, he speaks of battles fought and burdens borne, of brothers and sisters fierce and unyielding, the cold stone resolve it took to carry on, to walk forward, head high as the world watched and waited. His voice clear as the morning, carries the echoes of journeys of unknown, of distant lands and soil stained with memory, a drumbeat of service, steady and true. And when he speaks, the air listens, the earth stirs, for this is his salute to those who served beside him, and to those still standing strong, and to all who carry the torch forward in honor, unbroken and undimmed. We thank you. Thank you for your service.
Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce to you a remarkable leader and dedicated officer of the United States Air Force, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen M. Cash. Lieutenant Colonel Stephen M. Cash is commander of the Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps, Detachment 790 at Tennessee State University, home of the Raptors. He is responsible for recruiting and overseeing the preparation of officer candidates through a comprehensive college program at Tennessee State University and 11 crosstown universities. Lieutenant Colonel Cash was commissioned in 2006 through the Air Force ROTC upon graduating from Middle Tennessee State University in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Lieutenant Colonel Cash is a graduate of the United States Air Force Legislative Fellowship Program, where he served as Defensive Legislative Fellow for the Chairman of the Defense Subcommittee on Appropriations, Representative Peter Visklosky. Lieutenant Colonel Cash most recently served as Division Chief, Strategy and Engagement, Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Air Force, Congressional Budget and Appropriations Liaison, where he was responsible for planning and directing senior leader engagements with Senate and House Appropriations and Budget Committees to support the $202.7 billion President's budget request for the Department of the Air Force. He has also served as commander of the 50th Controller Squadron and as the Chief Controller Officer Assignments. Lieutenant Colonel Cash continues to lead and inspire the next generation of Air Force officers at Tennessee State University, bringing his wealth of experience, knowledge, and dedication to the role. His career is a shining example of commitment to service, continuous learning, and leadership excellence in the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our speaker of the hour, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen M. Cash.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Williams, thank you so much for that warm introduction. It's always hard to listen to folks talk about you, but thank you so much for that. I must say that I'm incredibly humbled to be here with you today, here physically, as well as the folks watching via live stream. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank President Johnson, Dr. Melton, and our other distinguished guests for reserving their time to be here this morning. It means so much to know that our veterans have the support of our university leadership, and your presence here this morning is yet another example of that support. To our Veterans Day committee members, National Anthem singers and musicians, Air Force ROTC Color Guard team, and all volunteers, thank you for your work in making this ceremony happen. Let's give these folks a round of applause, please. So, today we gather to honor the courage, dedication, and selflessness of our nation's veterans. Veterans Day is a sacred time when we pause, reflect, and express our gratitude to the men and women who have worn the uniform of the United States military. It is a day to recognize those who answered our nation's call to service, those who defended our freedoms, and those who have shaped the history and future of our country through their bravery. The theme for this year's Veterans Day is honoring all who have served. We embrace that theme because it is a phrase that captures not only the diversity of our veterans, but also the shared sense of duty that unites them. No matter the conflict, no matter the era, our veterans have stood strong and shown a commitment to a cause far greater than themselves. Our history is filled with stories of extraordinary service and sacrifice. From the beaches of Normandy to the jungles of Vietnam, from the deserts of Iraq to the mountains of Afghanistan, American soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and now Space Force Guardians have risked everything to defend this nation. They endured harsh conditions, faced relentless challenges, and stood tall in the face of unthinkable adversity. They were young. Dr. Melton mentioned her friend. often just starting their adult lives, but they chose to live their lives in the service of their country, and others yet still gave their lives in the service of their country. Think of those who fought in World War II. Over 16 million Americans answered the call to freedom across the globe. These young men and women left their homes, traveled to distant lands, and fought against tyranny with courage and resilience. Many did not return, and those who did were forever changed. Their sacrifice helped end one of the darkest chapters in human history, bringing peace and security not only to our own country, but to much of the world. In Korea, our veterans faced brutal winters and daunting terrain as they fought to defend a small nation's right to choose its own destiny. It was a war of fierce combat, and yet our troops held their ground against overwhelming odds, demonstrating their unyielding spirit and resolve. Vietnam veterans endured not only the physical trials of war, but also the emotional weight of fighting in an often divisive and politically charged era. They faced challenges that many could not understand, yet they upheld their duty with honor and strength. It's our solemn duty to honor their service and acknowledge their sacrifice, ensuring they receive the respect they so rightly deserve. In recent decades, our veterans have continued to answer the call in the Middle East, standing as our nation's defenders against new threats. In Iraq, in Afghanistan, and across the globe, American service members put themselves in harm's way to protect us from terrorism, to build stability, and to foster peace. They faced dangers that most Americans can hardly imagine, and they did so with steadfast loyalty to their country. To all of you in our audience who have served, whether in times of war or in times of peace, whether here at home or far away, know this: you are the guardians of our nation. You chose a life of sacrifice, and because of that, America remains free and strong. Our flag flies high because of your courage, your honor, your character, your commitment, your integrity, your selflessness, your excellence, and your loyalty. You are part of an unbroken chain of patriots who have served this country with distinction since its very inception. And as we gather here today, we owe each of you a debt that can never truly be repaid. Okay. At this point, I'd like to go off script just a bit, and so if you guys will just indulge me for a second. So we are, I'm really honored to have my beautiful bride here in the audience, Andrea, sitting in the front row there, as well as my youngest daughter, Morgan, who today, give them a round of applause. So you can see her little princess crown thing she's got on there. Today is not only Veterans Day, but we share this wonderful occasion with Morgan's birthday. So that's right. Happy birthday. So this is the audience participation part. If you would just indulge me on the count of three, let's just give Morgan a big happy birthday, Morgan, on three, okay? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Morgan. Yeah. So thank you so much for that. And the reason that I mentioned my family is because today we also remember that it's not just those in uniform who bear the weight of service. They're families of our veterans. Spouses, children, parents, and loved ones serve alongside us. They are the ones who wait anxiously at home, who bear the long stretches of absence, who support and care for their loved ones when they return. They sacrifice their own stability and comfort to support the ones they love. To all who have stood by veterans through deployments, moves, separations, as Andrea and now Morgan have experienced, and so many of your loved ones have experienced as well, thank you so much. Your strength and support are an essential part of our nation's strength, and we honor their sacrifice today. Today in big cities and small towns across our country, there will be ceremonies around flagpoles and parades on downtown streets to properly express our gratitude, to show our appreciation to men and women who served so that we might live free. And it is right that we do so, but our tributes will ring hollow if we stop there. As we look to the future, we know that there will be challenging times ahead. We have to overcome new threats to our security and prosperity, and we've got to overcome the cynical voices warning that America's best days are behind us. But if there is anything our veterans teach us, it's that there is no threat we cannot meet. There is no challenge we cannot overcome. America's best days are still ahead, and the reason for that is because we are a people who defy those voices that insist otherwise. We are a country that does what is necessary for future generations to succeed. And so I am therefore filled with hope that future generations will continue to honor the values that our veterans have fought so hard to protect. Hope that our young people will learn from your example, that they will understand the value of service and the price of freedom. We know that America's veterans have built a legacy of bravery, resilience, and patriotism that will inspire us for generations to come. And so on this day, let us renew our commitment to ensuring that every veteran receives the care, respect, and gratitude they deserve. Let us pledge to remember their sacrifices and to live in a way that honors their legacy. Today and every day, let us honor all who have served, those who have given so much for us and for our country. Let us remember the strength and the sacrifice of every American veteran. And let us hold fast to the hope that they have given us, a hope that America will forever remain the land of the free because it is the home of the brave. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the president of Tennessee State University, Dr. Ronald Johnson.
Good morning, and I'll be brief. One, I want to thank all of you for coming out and extending your love for those who have served our country. It is really important that that love gets extended so that people can see that we care. Why? Because our freedom is the result of their service. Why? Because our families are able to do the things that we want to see our families do because of their service. And why? Because we also want to share with them that we know the challenges that we have placed their families in as they traveled away from home. I'm reminded of one of my brothers, we call him Rocky, and my mother and my sister, older sister, went out to visit him in Texas just before he was deployed to go off to Desert Storm. Of course, my mother was having all sorts of challenges with that. The last person that she had sent off who did come back was her brother for the Korean War. And so She was beside herself, but my brother spoke to her and consoled her that this is a responsibility that he had accepted, and that he's doing it not just for her and my sister, my older sister who was with her, but for all of us. And it was that actually quieted my mother. She calmed down, and then she said, well, you have to do what you have to do. I brought you up to be the person that you are. And so we're here today to celebrate those people who are the persons who they are, that actually sacrifice their family time, their opportunities to do other things in order to support us. I thank you again for coming out and expressing your commitment to a group of people that deserve the highest honor. I recall as a child when this day was called Armistice Day, which marked the end of World War I. But the wiser view came about to say, wait a minute, let's not celebrate the end of World War I, let's celebrate the people who have sacrificed themselves, their time, their families to serve us. And so it's something that I truly appreciate, and I appreciate all of you for coming out. Thank you.
As we prepare to retire the colors, I would like to thank all of the students that participated this morning in our exercise. And most important, I would like to recognize and thank the committee for the Tennessee State University Veterans Day Program. Would you just please stand? I could not have done this without you. We did this as a team, and thank you, thank you, thank you. We wanted this year to try something a little bit different. We had asked all of our veterans to please stand, but we're going to ask that you kindly come down front quickly, and if you tell us your branch and where you work on campus, we just thought it'd be nice to give you an opportunity so that we can see you. If you would like to do that, please do that now. Seeing none, well, come on. If you would give us your branch and where you work here on campus, please, sir.
I'm Jay Jones. I'm working student affairs. I did 30 years in the Army.
Mark Brinkley. I'm in student affairs, and I was in the Army as a field artillery officer.
I'm Garante Hillman. I work in the Gentry Center. I'm still serving in the Army National Guard. I've been in for 9 years.
I'm John Berger. I work for the IT department. I was a captain in the 82nd Airborne Division.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Howell. I work in the Business and Finance Department. I was in the Ordnance Corps Missile Maintenance, believe it or not.
Good morning, LaRotha Williams Jr. I'm a professor of African American and Public History here at Tennessee State University. I am a United States Air Force vet and also a Gulf War vet.
Good morning, my name is Chris Miller. I'm the Director of Parking and Traffic Services. I was in the military in the Army. I did 2 tours overseas in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Good morning, I'm Commander Tony Blakely. I'm with Tennessee State University Police Department. I served in the United States Army 100 Division Logistics.
Thank you very much for your service. Immediately following our program, we would like to take a picture of all the veterans and President Johnson here on stage, after which we will go to Hankel Hall for a reception honoring our veterans. We're inviting all veterans and all platform guests. Thank you.
At this time, we'll have the retiring of the colors.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our program. We would like our veterans to please come forward to the stage for our photo. Wait, where would you like?